Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Broker to Broker podcast. I'm your host, Marc Summers, founding president of AIME. Today, very excited about this guest. A lot of you out there know him. He's been very influential in our space, helping many brokers out, many loan officers, many processors with what he does. And we're going to jump into a lot of things today. But very excited to announce to you that I have head of strategy for AIME right now. This guy does a lot. He's probably got about 5 more titles out there, but we're going to focus on that one right now. AIME head of strategy, Jason Frazier. Jason, thanks for joining us today, my man.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me, and excited to be here. I'm digging that intro music though, man. That took me back to like 80s sitcom, like settle in for the evening, man. I'm in. I'm excited now.
You know what I'm gonna have Tommy do is he produces a lot of this stuff. Is I'm gonna have him send that to me so I can make it my ringtone. Well, hey Jay, listen, we have a lot to cover here today. Yep. One of the things that you're very well known for is obviously strategizing, marketing, helping loan officers get new clients, and we got a lot to talk about today. But that's the first thing I want to cover right now, because at the time of this recording, there's a lot of things going on in our industry, all for the best. They're already talking about rate cuts, which I know I'm going to get blasted for this one. It's not a direct correlation, but it helps. Okay. Any positive news like that, it helps. Yep. All right. But so we're like in a little bit of a rate drop right here. And we've been begging for this for probably 3 to 4 years. So with that being said, from your standpoint, I'm a loan officer listening to this episode right now. Yep. Hopefully it's a little mini refi boom. Hopefully it's a big one again. You know what I mean? What should I be doing as a loan officer, as a broker owner, that's going to help me set up to be successful during this, hopefully, little stretch we got coming up?
Yeah, well, I guess, I mean, my real answer to that is hopefully you were doing something like 3 months ago. You know what I mean? Because like at some point we were going to, I think, because you got to be careful with rates, but like what I think we can all, I think, safely discern is that I don't think we're going to have like a super rate increase. And what I mean by that is that we're either playing with what we have right now or playing for what the future may bring, and build systems, processes, and your strategy around all of that. And so hopefully 3 months ago, people were building to this end, because what I've seen too much is I've seen people saying, I get around to calling my database, and some people have already refied or done this or done that because they weren't building for, because remember guys, like what you do today, you're not good or bad is going to be a very apparent 90 days from now. So whatever you guys are doing, just know that like you're not going to see the effects of that probably for another 90 days. If you're doing bad stuff, you're going to see bad stuff in 90 days. If you're doing good stuff, you're going to see good stuff in 90 days. And so as you're getting ready and getting into this, one is make sure you're having the conversation, because not everyone's going to be a yes, right? So make sure that you go in to every single conversation with intent, with a plan to do 2 things. One is create a plan. If it's a yes, then you're planning for moving forward. Like go, and I'm not saying create the plan as you're talking to your client or prospect, but create the plan going into the conversation. Hopefully you guys have a CRM or a database of some kind where you have some notes, but you're creating a plan to 1A, move forward, or you're planning, making a plan B to keep in touch to whatever the like what Jonathan calls the strike rate is for you to move forward. But third, the bonus thing is to build more rapport and connectivity with the person on the other end of the line. Now, what I would say is do not leave it up to email. Guys, we get too much email. Like you get too much email. I get too much email. The client sure as heck gets email from their plumber, their electrician, the HVAC installer, every utility in their life, they're getting emails from, right? So pick up the dang phone, call, have that conversation, text, right? So you want to hit them with an omni-channel approach. But again, the 3 things that the 2 main things in the bonus component too is have a plan. Either you're going to help them going forward, help them with keeping in touch so that when they're ready, they're ready. And then 3 is to build that rapport. So that's what I would be doing right now if I was a broker.
Yeah, I'll be shocked with, I am shocked with some of the conversations that some loan officers are having, and maybe it's just the way they do things, but, like I've heard people, they'll call and, I need cash, but the rate's not as attractive. And they say, okay, well, I'll let you know when rates drop. It's like, wait a minute. You're missing the boat there. You know,
Yeah,
you got to be
yeah.
talking about, okay, where do you want to be? Like where it's the green light.
Yep.
If it gets to this point, I'm calling you. So talk to me about some of those conversations that you with all of your experience that people should be having with those little extra add-ons to build that rapport.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because when you're talking about like the conversations, like, oh, okay, all right, I'll just let you know when things are going, and I see that conversation all the time, and it drives me nuts. Is because, guys, look, at the end of the day, when someone refis, and I talked about this during the boom too, because a lot of people were missing opportunities with people, and they were, I mean, you saw the post too, Mark, is like, man, like they're in a 6% now and I have a 3%. Like, why on earth would they not want to, you know, like, I can't believe it, and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it's because you weren't anchoring to the actual motivations of the client. And so like what Mark was, you know, what you're talking about is when you're having that conversation with the consumer, and they say, well, I'm doing this, to say like, okay, well, all right, I got that. So why does that number make sense to you? Why is that number the number that's going to make you move? And let me ask you this. Let's say that number was today. Let's say that rate is today, and that's what it would look like. What are you going to do with that? Like what benefit of it, of a refi? Is it just saving money? And if it is, what are you going to do with saving that money? Or is it to pay off debt? Like, what could you do with your pay off debt? Like, for example, if I look at your blended rate now with all of your high debt that you have and doing a cash out, this is everything that it's going to do for you. This is what you're looking at. What could you do with an extra, you know, and again, I've seen wide range, but let's just call it like $1,500. If I was able to help you get $1,500 extra a month in your bank account, like what does that do for you? Like what help does that give your family? Or what are you saving up for? What goals do you have financially where that money is going to help you? Part of owning a house is making that, you know, making that equity work for you. So first, let's talk about like what the goal would be in a refi. Then let's talk about the number. And then you tell me, explain to me why it's important, because I want to know, because I want to make sure that when whatever happens, that I'm your first call. And of course, I'm going to be keeping up to date. But I think it helps me because, guys, the longer you keep them on the phone having a conversation, because remember, this is that whether they've done business with you or not, the trust isn't like 100%, right? So whenever there's a sales call, the human response is always going to be like, okay, I'm going to, you know, take my time. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to say no. Like we're engineered as consumers to say no. We don't always buy immediately. It takes some time, right? And so you have to understand that like that's their initial thing. But once you get them talking through it, you'll find that and guys, you've done this before, right? Like, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm sure you've been on a call where someone said no, you had a conversation, and at the end they said yes, because what you did, you may think you did something else, but what you did is you get them to clarify why they want to move forward in their head. And then you get them to tell them why it matters to you. And then with the mortgage math, you show them, and it's like, look, you're telling me this is important as a goal. You're telling me $1,500, $2,000 an extra month is important, and this is what you're going to be able to do. Right now, the difference in payment, you know, sometimes it's like you're talking about like $80, like $160, 200, whatever it is. Just say like, okay, and then this is what we're looking at. Now you tell me, like, now that you're looking at everything, does that still make sense for you to wait, or does it make sense to, you know, of blah, 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 blah. Right. So like get them on, when you have them on the phone and they're actually open up to talk to you, get them to explain to you the reasons why they're doing that stuff. Let them talk through their goals and because that's the anchor. That's what matters. And sometimes you get them talking themselves into a yes. Right. And this isn't nefarious. This isn't what some brokers, you know, post about saying, I would never put them in a bad, you know, this loan or this loan based off of all this stuff. Guys, like every consumer is different. Right? You're just there to help and facilitate what they need. You're not there to drive them into anything. You're just there to give them all the information so they fill the form. And what a lot of, and guys, like this is something I know Jonathan has brought up on sales calls. A lot of good sales leaders have brought this up, but once you get to a certain point with consumers, their ultimate goal isn't to succeed, as crazy as it is. Their ultimate goal is not to fail. Is not to make a bad decision. That's what's driving them. So the more that you get them thinking that this is a good decision for them based off of what they said, the better off you're going to be. But none of that happens if you just go, oh, okay, you're telling me that. All right, I'll let you know, and then hang up, because someone else is going to have that same conversation, is going to go into it. And that person's like, man, they're asking me a lot of questions. They're saying this stuff. This is really reasonable. Hey, Frazier didn't say anything like that on the phone, but Marc's asking me all these questions and really getting me thinking and stuff like that. And if your relationship isn't solid with that consumer, then they're probably going to go with Marc. Right. And then that's it. But, and you guys, look, this isn't me like making stuff up. I see these posts every single week in Facebook about this happening. So like, that's that. Keep them on the phone, get them talk, but anchor to the reasons why they're doing it, not the math. Get them anchored to the reasons why, and let them tell you exactly where they want to go.
That's some good stuff right there. Yeah, one of the things that I've been doing for years, I would say pretty successful, is getting people out of their minds as well, consumers out of their mind, that this is a debt. You know what I mean? Yes, you owe on it, but it's a financial vehicle. Like some of the wealthiest people in my area, they're always like, I'm always going to have a mortgage. It's stupid not to. It's the cheapest money out there. You know what I mean? So like also educating them, teaching them, but I love that anchor to what they need, and then drive it home. And yeah, you're not making the decision for them. You're just giving them the information, because they may see something completely different and go, oh, okay, I didn't know that was available. And then now you got a client for life.
100%.
Yeah. So good stuff, Jason. All right. So let's flip the page here a little bit, because we, what is it? God, is it 2 months? 2 months away from now, we got Fuse coming up, and I know you've been integral about that. But the first thing I want to talk about is you hopped on AIME to help us out a couple months ago. I don't know, 2-3 months. Time flies in this industry. You know that. But we're glad to have you. What has your experience been like so far, now that you've kind of opened up the curtains to the AIME world, the AIME inner doings, and like, what can you tell the community about what we do?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time coming, right? I've obviously been, a part of AIME and different other forms or fashions throughout the years, and AIME's always held a special place in my heart since I got involved way back when. And so I was super excited to get the opportunity to join the AIME team. And look, it's, not to say anything negative about the past, but I think when I was involved in before, it was more of it was a community in which is in a movement, which got me super excited, because it wasn't something that was normal in the industry. But I think there wasn't really any true structure of focus on what AIME really could do for brokers, right? And meaning, and again, like I said, it's not to cast shade or say anything negative about the past, but what I've noticed since I've been here is really the focus on the mission of what AIME, in my opinion, should have always been, and that's how do we help brokers win? How do we help them close more loans? And so, joining the team, being around Jonathan Moore, and KT and you and the rest of the team has just been great. It's been fun. It's been those that know me know that my affinity that I have for brokers and the wholesale channel, and to have the opportunity to work with a team that is invested in that mission is just something. Again, it's like when people ask what I do and having fun what I do, it's like, to me, it's like I get to play with toys every day, because of what I do. But it's super fun. And the one thing that I think behind the scenes, and look, everyone likes to say what they think they know or know, and I think it's been one of my one of my curses, honestly, is just the fact that I've been involved with all these conversations that no one ever gets involved with. And so you see a lot of people that think they know something, and so they post it online and this and that. But I really don't think just the John and Q broker on the street just know how hard the team at AIME works for them. And look, is it perfect? No. But at the end of the day, it's not for lack of trying. It's not for the lack of trying to do what's best. It's not for a lack of trying to be perfect in the execution of what we do. But the team, everyone, is invested in helping brokers win and close more loans, and the work that they put in, the effort. And guys, look, I know everyone like talks about the Facebook group and so you guys have zero idea of how many posts. And look, I had an idea just because I've managed Facebook groups before, but guys, like it literally, like, cause my notifications go off for anything Facebook related, right? Like it's hundreds a day. And those are decisions and stuff like that. But ultimately it's like, how do we do things that are going to be a value of a community? And so, I've loved it every day since I've been here. I'm excited for Fuse. I'm excited to continue to, my efforts and play whatever part I can in helping AIME continue to be the association for mortgage brokers, with the event for mortgage brokers every year, so that we can continue on helping what we all believe, and that is to put brokers in the best position for success, because we believe they are the best, they are the best path for consumers.
That's awesome. I absolutely love it. No, we extremely enjoy having you on. I know Fuse is going to have a little bit of a different feel this year, but I think it's, and like I'm echoing you, nothing bad about the past. Just this is just going to be better. Like I've never seen more excitement. Our room blocks everything. The way tickets are going, it's going to be unbelievable. I think the location and venue is going to be absolutely perfect. And I'm about to bring that up here because you were just there, weren't you?
Yep.
All right. So talk to me about it. I haven't been to this place. Now I've been to Nashville.
Oh, you haven't been there?
I haven't been there.
Oh, no. You're in for a treat.
No. John told me to sit back, relax on this one. So,
okay.
I love Nashville. I absolutely love it. But tell us a little bit give us a little insight, give us a little bit of excitement here about this place, what we're going to do, and how we're going to make brokers better.
Yeah. And so, without giving anything away, guys, I've seen all the breakout sessions. I've seen all the speakers and stuff like that. So you will not be disappointed. And guys, when you're thinking about, and just a real quick aside before we get into the venue and the experience, but guys, as you're going to an event, like hopefully you have a plan of like, how am I going to make this event worth my investment? Because it really is an investment. And believe me, like Fuse is the best investment you can make. Not only that, but guys, it's like right now, if you become a member, you get your Fuse ticket included, right? And it's cheaper than just buying a Fuse ticket. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. Plus, you're going to want to become a member now, because we haven't even like pulled back the layers of onions of things that we have cooking for our members. But guys, when we get into the Gaylord Opryland in Nashville, it's a one of a kind venue. It really just is. It's a city within a hotel. And I'm not like, you think about like Vegas, I guess like the closest comparison I can make is maybe like Caesar's Palace, right? Where they have that, whatever they call that little area with like the false sky on top, like in there, and you're kind of like in a little city, right? Like within the hotel. Think about that for those of you that have experienced that, and then times it by like 100, because guys, it literally is a city within a resort, and there is no false sky. Like this is all like, guys, it's hard to explain. If we have our promo video out there, our trailer video, you've seen some of the content that I went there. Cause I went there, I did a little mini vacation to Chattanooga. So we rolled up to Nashville for a day and a half, stayed at the Gaylord, shot some content. And guys, like, so I had an opportunity to stay there during Christmas when we moved out here to Georgia. And so we actually spent Christmas at the Gaylord. And I'm telling you, like, if you get an opportunity to do that, amazing. But guys, they have a river in there. They have boats in there, restaurants, like they have, like people get married in there. Like it is insane. You could get lost. There is a need for a map. The cool thing is you could also bring your families too, like comfortably, and they could be completely absorbed into like everything that they have going on there as well. But like, guys, I don't think you're ready for it. If you've never been to something like this, it is a great experience. It is a lot larger. There's people that have seen stuff. And then when I came back and showed them like the content and like kind of took my walkthrough with it, like even people they're like, I had no idea it was even like that. And so that's what we want to get across, is that, and good, like Vegas is Vegas, right? Vegas is Vegas. All the other, you do stuff in Dallas, you do stuff, in the, Southern California, Orlando, Tampa Bay, like and nothing against all those areas. But at the end of the day, if I'm investing in experience, I want something that's going to be memorable, something that's impactful. This is going to be a broker takeover of a mini city within one of the top resorts in the country. and it's going to be fun. Like, we have a lot of stuff, like you mentioned, like this is going to be different and it's going to be better because we're doing a lot of different stuff. We are so ingrained into the community and making sure we're engaging with them to make sure that they feel not just like an attendee at some conference, but actually like an integral component of the experience that we're creating there. And we don't get that as much anymore since COVID, right? Like, everyone's on Zooms now. No one really travels as much as they used to. Like we've kind of lost that shared experience. And so, in my opinion, like, Fuse is the best event to get together with your fellow brothers and sisters in arms and learn something. And that investment that you're going to make in this is going to pay back dividends, because if you're, whether your ticket or whatever, like you have the ability to 10x or 20x your investment, simply by just one takeaway. And guys, seeing just the breakout sessions, not even like the keynotes and all that other stuff, just looking at the breakout sessions, there is 1,000% going to be one takeaway that will 10x or 20x your business. You just have to have a plan to do it. And what we want for this Fuse, because it isn't a different look, obviously had New Orleans with no hurricanes, thankfully, this year, but like we had Fuse last year in New Orleans and Vegas, before. We had the one Fuse during COVID in Detroit. But this is going to be a different experience. This is going to be fun. This is going to be memorable. And, it's great having conversations with brokers as I do and have them relate going, you know what, like Fuse in 2019 changed my business, or the tag event changed my career and all this other stuff. It's like, I have those conversations all the time. And and I know this is going to be like, hey, well, of course you guys are AIME, of course you're going to speak positively about this, but I think guys know me by now that I kind of like say, hey, well, it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing or whatnot. But I'm telling you, like, this event is shaping up that it will absolutely, if you go in it with a plan, with your ears, eyes open, right, ready to receive the information, this could transform your life, right? It can put you on the path to success that you've been waiting for. You're just waiting for that spark. And I think you're going to get that. No pun intended. You're going to get that with Fuse.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. The one thing I want to hear from you though is like, okay, so maybe we have someone on the fence here wanting to come. I don't know, my investment, which is really not that big of an investment. Let's just be honest here.
Yep.
What would be your advice to someone coming to Fuse and say, how can I get the most out of this event?
Yeah. So one is plug in, right? Like that's not, well, one is I'd say plan, have an idea of like, what do you want to take away? Like, what's a win? First define what is a win for you going to an event? Like, what's going to make it worth your investment in time, right? Because guys, like, that's what I was talking about. Like, you do one loan from something you learn at this event, you're going to pay for that investment and then some. Right. And so, and I'm telling you, it's an impossibility not to learn something that's going to allow you to do one more loan than you normally would. Right. But one is have a plan. What's a win? Number two is plug in, right? Like, that's the one thing, guys, like most of my experience in this industry has been in retail. Right. And so when I was brought into the wholesale, fold back in the day, right, welcomed with open arms, right? Like, I was like, the community, I became like this, it became an extension of my mortgage family, that of people that I didn't know. And those relationships that I created, like ones with Marc way back when, still are around today. And they're still great relationships. And so plug in, there's so many great people that maybe you've seen on like Mortgage Mornings, maybe you've heard them on the podcast. Maybe you saw them post in a group, but you never met them in real life. Right. I'm telling you, like, there's just some great people. So plug in there. Look, there's hardly going to be anyone that's going to be like, I don't know, like, don't talk to me or whatever. Like, there's so many great opportunities for you to meet other people. And to plug in with them and to learn from them, because even though this event's going to be awesome, even though the people on stage are going to be tremendous and the content valuable, even all of that above is true, chances are you're probably going to take something way more valuable away by a relationship that you create or a conversation you have at 10:30 at night or even midnight, because you're like, hey, I know I got to wake up at 6, but I'm going to do it anyway. Right. So you're having a conversation with another, broker, another loan officer at midnight, and gives you perspective. It's that camaraderie. It's that shared experience, because we are all doing this together. So if you're on the fence about it, like, you could make these a wins. I've made every conference a win that for me, for the conversations I have now, sometimes I'm not there as an attendee, but even those I take notes from other speakers that are speaking, right? Or just the conversations I get to have with these people. I'm going out to dinner with people that I went out to dinner with Orleans. It's our annual, tradition now, is that we're going to go have like a dinner at Fuse, right? So with some brokers, and these are people that, I've come to care a great deal about. And that's not because of my role or position. It's just because, and I'm an introvert, right? But this is just by me being able to connect with a community that is so open to connecting with other people. Yes, we're all technically competitors, but ultimately we're all on Team Broker here. And that's what brings everyone together. And that creates just a stickiness. And I'm telling you, it's just a lot of cool people. And don't deprive yourself of meaningful people, because there could be a referral, there could be some education, there could be just a tidbit from that broker in Kansas, you being a broker in California, that just connects the dots on something that you've been missing, and it changes your life. I'm telling you, like every moment is an opportunity, and Fuse, just in my opinion, just happens to be that event that just allows all of that come together.
No, I agree. Like I talked to some people before, and this is back in the day, and they're like, yeah, I went, you know what I mean? But you kind of watch them and they're sitting on their phone the entire time, which I get it. Business still goes on. And there's still people there with their computers, and I get that. But like, if you really dive in, and even if it's not something that you're extremely excited about or interested in, at least figure out something that you can take away. You know what I mean? I talk about it the same way with when we talk about, membership with AIME. If you just buy membership and let it sit there, yeah, it'll work for you, but you don't get the full effect of it. You don't get the true investment out of it. It's the same thing that I want to tell people about Fuse. If you really go there, try to buy in. Okay, fine. You might see a speaker that you're like, I wasn't a fan of. Well, you can always learn from something. You know what I mean? Whether it's you didn't like them or you did like them. And once again, going off what you said, go up to people and talk to them. There are a lot of cool people, tons of cool people. Hell, I mean, literally with this podcast, I'm always calling people that I met at Fuse, you know what I mean? Or met at another event, you know what I mean? And we keep these relationships, I need help. They need help. They need an escalation. I don't know, but at the same time, like that's what it's about right there. So no, that's awesome. All right, Jason, I got you for a couple more minutes here. Okay. I got you a couple more minutes here. I appreciate your time. But like, what is your mindset for the rest of the year? I know it's kind of like I'm diverting from Fuse a little bit here. I know your mindset probably right now for the next 2 months is nothing but Fuse. But other than that, like how do you want to help this community even more than what you do now?
Yeah, so I don't want John to get mad at me, so I won't give any secrets away that let me put it this way. You're going to want to be at Fuse because we're announcing a lot of different stuff, but my mindset and action set for the rest of this year post Fuse, or even now going into Fuse and out of Fuse, is really delivering on the promise that we made to brokers of helping them close more loans. And so some of that stuff I'm doing now, just kind of behind the scenes and things of that nature, things that will be launched. But my thing is like, is if I really look at the process of putting brokers in the best position to succeed, to close more loans, what does that take? What does that look like? What has to happen? What's going to take place, and what's going to get it to stick? Because ultimately, one thing that is very apparent is that we're just in a very noisy world now, right? And brokers, they get invited to a million podcasts, a million webinars every single week, and just a lot of noise. And so one is like, how do we break through that noise to deliver them the message that they need to hear, and delivering the message that they want to hear, so that they can then deploy that in their own businesses and then achieve their dream outcomes. So my mindset is like value. Not how I know how to deliver the value, right? It's just like, how do we put it in a structure that doesn't overload, that gets it to stick? Because that's the most important thing to me. We don't have knowing problems. We have doing problems, right? We all want to talk about like the things of this and that and blah, blah, blah. But like we skate over implementation and execution, which is great. It's like, hey, you have a refi plan. Awesome. If you don't implement it and you don't execute on it, it's who cares, right? Like, might as well not even had a plan at all. And so I would say that my focus is going to be on strategic growth for brokers and content to do that. And not just like saying, hey, here's a social media post or here's a presentation, but give them the how, the why, and the what that you're going to do it. Give them everything that they need. So really they just show up, put their own little spin on it, and get it done. And so my focus is on putting together everything, you know, with the team at AIME. I'm not doing it by myself, but like me putting this together so that in a way that brokers can easily access it, so that there's more engagement within the community, bringing more people together, and also really make this association open to other people other than just the people that you see all the time, like a Marc, a me, a John, and all the other, you know, the board members, and, you know, Julie and Tom and everyone else that plays a big part of AIME. But guess what? There is so many awesome people that are a part of our association, so many members. We need to give them a voice too, because they have a lot of great content, right? And so that is my focus, is bringing it all together, doing something different, which above all is I don't want AIME, and the beauty of it, AIME has never been that way. So like, I'm already starting with the leg up, but I don't want AIME to be just another Me Too association that people ignore. Right. And that's generally what you get with a lot of the associations over time. It just happens, and, you know, it just, you know, whatever, but it's because no one chooses they choose the status quo as opposed to choosing to be different. AIME has always chosen to be different. AIME has always chosen to be bold and to take risks. And so I want to stay true to the foundation of that, and bring along those people that have that in their DNA of being bold, of taking risks, because that's what people are going to learn from. That's what's going to keep them engaged, and that's what's going to keep them inspired and motivated to finish the back nine of 2025 and roll into the front nine of 2026.
Love it. Jason, dude, you're the best. You know what I mean? I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you being part of AIME. You're always very positive with the broker community, and also sometimes one of the funniest people on Facebook when you kind of make fun of us a little bit, but in a good way.
Always with love.
Always with love. So, hey, man, I just want to say thank you for coming on today. Get your tickets for Fuse. Go say hi to Jason. Go say hi to everyone from the AIME team. They worked their tails off for you. But thanks again for joining us.
Well, thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on. And guys, get your tickets. Get your tickets today. Join us. You're not going to want to miss Fuse.
Absolutely. So brokers, if you want to catch up on all of our past podcast episodes, as well as other AIME Network podcasts, please head over to aimegroup.com/broker to broker. You can also listen and watch all AIME Network podcast episodes on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. If you're on YouTube and you want to see the video, the handle's at AIME National, and there's other great wholesale content out there. Everyone else, please rate our podcast and leave a review. Helps us spread the word and provide them to the world that brokers are best. And Jason, you're one of those, my man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.